So, hello everyone, good evening to all. Just confirm me once in the chat box that my voice is audible. Okay, thank you, sir, for your response in the chat box. Today, in this class, we'll discuss on a very important, very specific, and very relevant topic from current scenario. Okay, that is amnesty scheme under GST. So, sir, in this particular session, we'll cover the practical part, the theoretical part, the mechanism, and the practical implication of this amnesty scheme, section number 128A of the CGST Act. But before moving ahead, we'll just try to understand why there is requirement of that amnesty scheme. Okay, and what we can do in this particular amnesty scheme, how we can go for this amnesty scheme, what are the things that we need to keep in our mind before moving to this amnesty scheme. All these things we are going to cover. So, sir, are you ready for the discussion on this amnesty scheme? Before moving ahead, I just request everyone, sir, if you have any question, any query related to this amnesty scheme, you just need to put it in the chat box, okay? So that I will provide you the response immediately. If possible, keep one pen and paper with you so that you can make your notings at your end, okay? And as we all know now, there may be chances that our client have certain demands related to the respective financial year, and we may go for that amnesty scheme. Okay, so this is a very favorable decision. So we all need to know these type of things in our mind, so that while planning for our client, we can take care of all these type of things. Sir, as we all know, at the initial time, in the initial stage of that GST, there were multiple issues. You can say technical issues was also there, fundamental issues were also there. There were also less knowledge of the law and certain typical provisions. Okay, so maybe chances there were certain issues, certain penalties, certain compliances failure, or certain technical issues. With that intent, government has come up with a amnesty scheme. Sir, what do you mean by this amnesty scheme? So, through this particular scheme, government is saying that, sir, if you have any demand, in that case, you just need to pay. You just need to pay the tax. Will waive off the penalty and interest. Sir, basically, this is related to this scheme only. अगर मैं basically बात करूं, what do you mean by the amnesty? So the purpose of amnesty of the government is to provide certain rebate or certain benefit to the taxpayer, and to collect the tax amount, waive off the penalty or interest or partial amount, whatever will be the thing. They are coming with the multiple amnesty schemes time to time. Under GST, this is the specific amnesty scheme, and this amnesty scheme is applicable for financial year 2017, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. Okay. We'll try to cover the practical crux as well, but for a better communication, for a better understanding, I just require your complete support. Okay. So that we can take this session to a next height and we all can create a great world of knowledge. Okay, so sir, try to make notes of certain things. So first thing, first question, this amnesty scheme is applicable for financial year 2017, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. That means if any demand related to that financial year in such a scenario, related to that financial year, just wait for a single second. Now, let's start our discussion. Actually, I forgot to start the recordings, or my team member has not started the automatic recording of this video. Okay. Now, let's start our discussion. Sir, through this amnesty scheme, government is going to provide certain rebates, certain concession related to the particular financial year. Okay. 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. So, whenever they are going to provide any opportunity, or whenever there will be something in any law, they just need to perform through certain sections. Am I right? So if they want to give the benefit of that amnesty scheme, then they has to introduce one specific section related to amnesty scheme. And for that purpose, they have introduced one specific section that is called as section number 128A. section number 128A. Sir, if you have taken the memory technique session from me, in such a scenario, section number 128, we have covered the technique very great, because this technique is this particular section is providing us the opportunity for waiver of penalty in certain specific circumstances. Am I right? So we may file an application for waiver of penalty, and government has introduced this section number 128A. And the purpose of this section number 128A is to provide you the benefit of the amnesty scheme, waiver of penalty and interest. Now, sir, one important conceptual thing is that what is the difference between the section and rules? Government has introduced the section number 128, and through that particular section, government said that, sir, now you can avail the benefit of interest and penalty, and you just need to pay the demand related to your tax for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. That is what is the section. But the point is that how I can go for that? What is the process? What is the mechanism? So for that purpose, government has announced one specific rule, that is rule number 164, and this 164 number rule is specifically for the this amnesty scheme. So we can say, what is the difference between rules and section? Section always talks about that you need to do this work, but rules will tell you that how you can proceed further, what will be the mechanism, what will be the process. Okay, and as you all know that recently we have launched the book, that is sections, and all the sections in a chart form. And I just want to announce that, sir, our next initiation or next step, we are going to provide you the rules from rule number 1 till the last rule. At this time we are not going to announce any book for the rules. This time we have multiple cards, just like visiting card will give you around 120 or 150 cards. On each and every card will provide you the reference of one section, so no need to read the book as well. You can carry that box of visiting card and you can easily check the rules written on the cards. Very simplified. Okay, so that is what is also going to be happening very soon. Sir, section chart book, you can place the order on our website www.batoconsultancy.com. Okay. Now let's start our discussion on the section number 128A. So first we'll try to understand section number 128A. Then after we'll go for the rules, and then after we'll go for the practical filing, that how you can proceed ahead on the GSTN common portal, where you need to go to select that particular scheme, and what are the things you need to submit with that application for filing the selecting the application. Okay, now, so sir, as usual, now I am not directly going to read the section for you. First, I am going to take certain examples, and through that example, I will give you the complete idea of the mechanism of section number 128A, and then after, we'll read the section. Okay. Now, let's start our discussion. Just for an example, suppose during the financial year 2018-19, suppose during the financial year 2018-19, there is certain difference in between my GSTR 3B and GSTR 1. 18 and 19, and difference between 3B and 1. Sir, I request join the session live only. Okay. So difference between 3B and 1 for financial year 18-19. Suppose I have reported the taxable value in my GSTR 1 as a 18 lakh rupees. GST payable, suppose 2 lakh rupees, just for an example. Okay. In my 3B, I have declared 14 lakh rupees and GST paid only 1,20,000 rupees. Now, departmental authority has come up with a notice for the tax demand of 80,000 rupees, and they have also reconciled the books of accounts. And that said that, Mr. Sachin, you have reported in your GST records GSTR1 sales of 18 lakh rupees for this particular month, which is related to financial year 18-19. And when we are going to reconcile your GSTR1 with your books of accounts, we found that your books and GSTR1 is completely reconciling. That means in your 3B, you have paid a less amount of tax. So they have raised the demand for 80,000 rupees. With that 80,000 rupees, that say that Sachin will impose an interest at the rate of 18%, suppose equal amount 80,000 rupees, and they have also imposed a penalty 100% of tax, that is 80,000 rupees. This is just for an example. So the total demands come to 2,40,000 rupees. Okay, for financial year 2018-19. And this order has been passed by the jurisdictional officer. That means the officer who is there in my jurisdiction. I have not filed any appeal before the appellant authority. Now government has given an opportunity to file an amnesty scheme, to select an amnesty scheme. So in that case, I just need to pay the 80,000 rupees. This interest and penalty will be waived off by the government. No need to pay this interest and penalty. I just need to pay 80,000 rupees as a tax. So now, sir, I have not filed any appeal before any authority. Just on the basis of jurisdictional officer, I am going to accept this liability and I need to select the amnesty scheme. Now, question is that how I need to make the payment of this 80,000 rupees. मुझे कैसे इस 80,000 rupees का payment करना है? So for payment, there is only one option is available, that is called as DRC03. So taxpayer needs to file DRC03 on common portal. Taxpayer needs to file DRC03 on GSTN common portal. Okay. After filing the DRC03 tax payment, that is 80,000 rupees. Now, the point is that, sir, क्या यहीं पर प्रोसेस खत्म हो जाएगा? No, you need to go for further process. So when you are opting the amnesty scheme, you need to file an application before the government that, sir, this is the tax demand and I need to go for the I want to go for the amnesty scheme, and for that purpose they have prescribed a specific form that is called as SPL01. This form should be submitted on GSTN common portal. And through this particular form, you are going to declare that, sir, I want to opt for the amnesty scheme. I have already paid the amount in DRC03. Now, when you will file this SPL01 form, departmental authority may scrutinize the complete form. And then after, they have two options. They have two options. Okay. Sir, will discuss. Mohan sir will discuss. We'll discuss the complete concept. Okay. You are saying the section number 16.4 and 16.5 and 16.6 will take the reference of both the sections as well. Okay. This is just a basic part. We'll cover each and everything. DRC03 you have to file. This is mandatorily required. If there is any demand, in that case, you have to file the DRC03 and pay the taxes to the government. Then only you will be eligible for the amnesty scheme. Okay. Now, SPL03 आपने file कर दिया, then after government has, that means the departmental authority has option to accept your SPL01 or to reject your SPL01. So for that purpose, if they will pass the order for the acceptance of the SPL01, in that case they will pass in SPL05. Sir, this form name should be there in your mind. Okay, so that whenever we'll receive any form on the GSTN common portal, we should not go for any Google and check what is the use of SPL05, SPL06, SPL0304. Okay, you just need to keep everything in your mind. Also, at the end of session, we'll provide you the list of forms and the uses. Okay, so we will not be dependent on the Google always. We will be dependent on the Google for certain time. जब मेरा दिमाग काम नहीं करेगा, then I will be go for Google only. Now, SPL01, and they will pass the order in form SPL05 if they are going to accept the application. This is the first scenario. Okay, abhi now I am just going to share with you multiple scenarios. Then after, I am going to club all the scenarios for you as well. First scenario, departmental authority has raised the demand. I have not filed any appeal before the appellant authority, and I have directly applied for the amnesty scheme through filing the SPL 01 form, and they have accepted the same. Now, when I am filing the SPL 01 form, there is requirement to submit any documents with the government authority. Yes, because whenever we are filing something or whenever I am going to apply for the amnesty scheme, they require certain documentation so that they can check the genuineness and the valuation and the verification of the documentation. So for that purpose, they require that you should submit the self-certified copy of the order passed by the jurisdictional officer. You also need to submit the DRC 03 as a proof of your payment. These are the documents you need to submit with your application. Okay. Now, this is my first scenario. Done. Order passed by a jurisdictional officer. I can directly go for amnesty. This is my first scenario. Second scenario, sir. Suppose for this financial year 2018-19, the same scenario. Tax demand 80,000, interest demand 80,000, penalty demand 80,000. Total demand is 2,40,000 rupees. Jurisdictional officer has passed the order. I have received that particular order, and then after I have filed the appeal before the appellant authority. I have filed the appeal before the appellant authority. So in this scenario, the jurisdictional officer is going to pass the order. I have filed the appeal before the appellant authority. Okay. Now, when I have filed the appeal before the appellant authority and appellant authority has passed the decision against me, appellant authority has passed the decision against me, then also can I go for the amnesty scheme? Yes, in that situation also you can go for the amnesty scheme, and in this scenario you have to file form SPL 02. That means when you are selecting the amnesty scheme merely on the basis of the order passed by the jurisdictional officer, the applicable form is SPL 01. But if you have filed one appeal before the appellant authority and after decision of the appellant authority, if you are going to select the amnesty scheme, you have to file form SPL 02 with required documents. Okay. Now, third scenario. Sir, try to collect all these type of scenarios. Okay, all these scenarios are very important and different situation. There may be chances your client is coming with multiple type of scenarios, so you need to know that what is the procedure I need to follow in different cases. Okay, so schedule number 3, that means situation or scenario number 3. Although with this particular session I am going to provide you one separate e-guide. Okay, in that e-guide we have covered the complete procedure, the complete documentation and complete practical screenshots from the GST and common portal for your reference, and this is also our handwritten book. Okay, so we'll provide you the same as well. Schedule number that is situation number 3. In this particular situation number 3, suppose the order has been passed by jurisdictional officer and you have filed one appeal before the appellant authority, but appellant authority has not passed any order. That means the matter is pending before the appellant authority. Jurisdictional order, then after appeal, but the appeal is pending. Appeal is pending. In such a scenario, when the appeal is pending and the order has been passed by jurisdictional officer, and now the taxpayer wants to go for the amnesty scheme, taxpayer is saying that I don't want this type of litigation. Directly select the amnesty scheme. I am ready to pay the tax amount and I don't want to go for any type of litigations. In such a scenario, what we need to do? We need to file one application to the appellant authority for the withdrawal of the appeal. That sir, जो अपील मैंने फाइल की है, the appeal which I have filed, I just want to withdraw that particular appeal. You can file that application on GST and common portal as well. Okay, so first step, that is At the end, I am also going to summarize the steps as well. Okay. So, first step, that is withdrawal of appeal. First step, that is withdrawal of the appeal. Second step, after withdrawal of the appeal, you have to file the application in form SPL02. You have to file the application in form SPL02 with the required documentation. Now, there is one issue. Sir, while watching this particular video or while watching this particular specific workshop on amnesty scheme, if you have any question, put it in the chat box. Okay. After that session, while going for the practical filing of amnesty, or if you will face any issue, in that case also you may text or WhatsApp. Okay, that is what is the facility available. So there is one crux. Suppose, sir, I have filed the withdrawal of appeal application before. I have filed the withdrawal application for the appeal to the appellant authority. But suppose the appellant authority has not approved my application till now. In that case, whether I can go for amnesty scheme or not, that is what is the question. Because there may be chances that the authority, that the authority is not directly pass your withdrawal application. It may take time. So can I need to wait for the order which has been passed by the appellant authority, or I can go for the amnesty scheme? So yes, you can go for the amnesty scheme. You just need to provide one additional attachment with your SPL02. That is the application for withdrawal of your appeal. That is what is the thing you need to submit with your SPL02. And whenever the order related to your withdrawal of appeal has been passed by the authority, appellant authority, you just need to submit that order with the departmental authority within 1 month from the order date regarding the withdrawal. Okay. So this concept, I think, very much clear, that whenever the matter is pending before the appellant authority, you can withdraw that application for the appeal. Okay. And after withdrawal, if you will not if you have not received immediately that order for the withdrawal, in that case you may file the application for the withdrawal with your SPL02. And whenever the order for the withdrawal will be passed by the appellant authority, that time you need to submit the same with the departmental authority. That is what is the mechanism which is available for you. Sir, are you with me? Everything is fine for you? The concept is simplified because multiple scenarios are there. So I am trying to simplify each and every mechanism. Sir, I am asking from everyone. Now, next scenario, next situation. Sir, when I am going to file an appeal before the appellant authority, fourth situation is like that. Order passed by the jurisdictional officer, order passed by the jurisdictional officer, and you have filed the appeal before the appellant authority. Appellant authority has rejected the appeal. Appellant authority has rejected the appeal, and now appellant authority has rejected the appeal, and now you have filed the appeal before the appellant tribunal. Although the same has not been constituted yet now, but they have given the scenario and situation that if you have filed the appeal before the appellant authority, appellant tribunal, and if you will file an application for withdrawal of your appeal, in that case you may file the SPL02 form. Okay, you may file the SPL02 form. That means basically, if we want to conclude all the scenarios, in that case prima facie there are two scenarios are available. There are total two scenarios are available. First scenario, when the order has been passed by jurisdictional officer. In that case, the applicable form is SPL01. Okay. And in case order passed and appeal filed, In such a scenario, the form is applicable SPL 02. Abhi, now you just need to do these two things in your mind. When the order has been passed by the jurisdictional officer and you have not filed any appeal, SPL 01 is here. If the order has been passed by jurisdictional officer, the taxpayer has filed the appeal before the appellant authority or appellant tribunal and the matter is pending or order has been passed. In that case, you need to file the form SPL 02. Now, sir, one question is there. Can I avail the benefit of amnesty scheme in each and every scenario, or there is certain restrictions? So, government is saying if you are a genuine taxpayer, in that case only will provide you the benefit of this amnesty scheme. If you are involved in any fraudulent activities, any willful misstatement, any suppression of act, in that case we are not going to provide you the benefit of this amnesty scheme. That means if the order or notice has been issued under section number 73, then only will give you the benefit of amnesty, because section 73 fraud free. There will be no any involvement of fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact. Section 74, liability is more. That means involvement of fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact. In such a scenario, you will not be eligible to take the benefit of this amnesty scheme. So, sir, point is that if the notice is in 73 or is in 74, amnesty yes, amnesty no. But suppose departmental authority has passed the order in section number 74, they said that this case involved any fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact, and taxpayer is in view that, sir, there were no any involvement of suppression of fact, willful misstatement or fraudulent activities. So the taxpayer has filed one appeal before the appellant authority that, sir, the authority has passed the order under section number 74, but my case should be covered under section number 73 only. And these are the proof, these are the documentation that my case should be covered under section number 73, that is fraud free. So in such a scenario, if you have idea of section number 75, journal provision defined, and in that particular section they have specifically mentioned, that if a order has been passed in section number 74 or notice has been issued in section number 74, but if the taxpayer submitted the relevant documentation before the appellant authority and appellant authority is in view that the case should be covered under section number 73, in such a scenario, the case should be transferred from section number 74 to section number 73. Conclusively, I just want to say that, sir, suppose a client is come to your office and said that, sir, my case has been covered under section number 74. These are the specific grounds which has been taken by the departmental authority. Can I go for the amnesty scheme? In such a scenario, you just need to check complete notice. Then after, prepare your grounds that, sir, can we go for section number 73? Can we argue with the appellant authority that, sir, there is no involvement of any fraud, any willful misstatement, any suppression of fact, so the matter should be covered under section number 73? Just for an example, I just want to share one specific thing. In case of royalty, mining royalty, GST is applicable on under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, taxpayer has to make the payment of GST under reverse charge mechanism. But during financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, the taxpayer has not paid the GST under reverse charge mechanism because there were certain issues with reference to service tax as well. Because in the mechanism of service tax, there were quite confusion. Honorable High Court has also given the decision that the royalty is itself a tax, so no GST should be applicable or no service tax should be applicable. So based on that specific fact, the taxpayer has not paid the GST on the royalty collection under reverse charge mechanism for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19. From 1920 onwards, the taxpayer is started paying the tax. Now, the departmental authority has issued a notice under section number 73, that 74, that you have involved in the fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact, and you have not paid the GST to the government. So the matter should be covered under section number 74. They have issued the notice, they have passed the order accordingly. Now my client is saying that, sir, can I go for the amnesty scheme? Big no, because the order has been passed in section number 74. Notice has also been issued in section number 74. So what is the solution? So first we need to fight that our case should be covered under section number 73. So we need to collect certain grounds. For example, in this particular situation, because I have fight in around 50 to 60 cases related to the same matter, and all the cases are covered under section number 73 itself, converted into section number 73, and we have availed the benefit of amnesty scheme. But the point is that our ground should be very much perfect and very much clear. So in that particular situation, we have argued that, sir, you have issued the notice in section number 74 and passed the order in section number 74. Where is the fraud? Where is the element of fraud? हमने यहाँ पर कुछ भी आपसे छिपाया नहीं है. Everything is clearly available on the records that we are receiving the royalty due to the lack of the knowledge, due to these certain issues which is pending before the Honorable Supreme Court. When Honorable Supreme Court is not able to decide the decisions, in that case, how we can pay the GST on that amount? So there were no any involvement of fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact. Also, that tax is liable under reverse charge mechanism. So we were also eligible to claim the input tax credit for the payment. Although we have not claimed any input tax credit. Now, if we are paying, then why interest and why penalty? There should only be involvement of tax. So the same decision has been pronounced by the Honorable Appellant Authority, and they have passed the order under section number 73, and we have availed the benefit of amnesty. And they have taken the reference of section number 75. Because under section number 75, they have clearly mentioned that if higher authority is going to say that this case is not related to fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact, in such a scenario, the same should be converted into section number 73 and accordingly provide the benefit of amnesty scheme. I think this concept is okay for everyone. One question is there in some of the experts says the SPL01 is only under the notice. Yes, in that case, the point is that if the notice or statement has been issued by the jurisdictional officer, you can go for the SPL01. Okay. Notice and statement has been issued by the jurisdictional officer, you can go for the SPL01. And if the order has been passed by the jurisdictional officer, in that case, you may file the SPL02 or you can go for the SPL01. Both the possibilities are there. Okay. So in case of jurisdictional officer, pass the note, issue the notice or statement, you can go for SPL01. And in case of the matter has been pending before the appellant authority, because the point is that once the order has been passed by the jurisdictional officer, the point is that I just want to clarify in this particular matter, sir, related to financial year 18-19, 19-20, 17-18. We all know the timeline as per section number 73 and 74 has already been lapsed. Okay. And if the order has been passed by the jurisdictional officer, then we have to file the appeal within 3 months. Otherwise, they will initiate the recovery proceedings. So the point is that in case of notice or statement, you can go for SPL01, and definitely the time period has already been lapsed. So the order has already been passed by the authority and the taxpayer has already filed the appeal or the taxpayer has already paid the amount. So in that case, you should go for SPL02. That is what is the mechanism we need to understand through the timeline mechanism. Due to section number 73, 74 restrictions within 3 years from the annual return or 5 years from the annual return, both the periods has already been lapsed related to section number 73. So we need to keep this fact in our mind. Is that okay, Mohan sir? Related to the timeline, I have prescribed these two things. So no confusion is required whenever you got confused on any provision of law, just check the subsequent provision or related provision, so that it will always be there in your mind. You will never ever be confused. Okay, that is what is the thing we need to keep in our mind, that already timeline has already been expired. Now, sir, this is my section number 73, 74. How we are going to convert, that is what is the thing we have already covered. And what are the form SPL 01, 02. Now, it is quite clear if the matter has been covered related to fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact. In that case, your section, your amnesty scheme will not be there. Only in case of genuine cases, that means no fraud, no willful misstatement, no suppression of fact, you can go for the amnesty scheme and payment of tax. Now, suppose the taxpayer, suppose the tax officer has raised the demand, during the financial year 17, 18, 18, 19 and 19, 20. Okay, related to this financial year, tax officer has raised the demand, certain demand on account of claim of input tax credit after the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. Okay, certain demand is due to section number 16 subsection 4. Now, sir, point and perspective is that, as we all know, that government has introduced section number 16 subsection 5, section number 16 subsection 6. I have recorded one separate video for section number 16.5, section number 16.6, which is also available on YouTube. Okay, you can check the same detailed video. Now, I just want to share with you the mechanism. Mohan sir has also raised the question as well. Now, section number 16 subsection 5 and section number 16 subsection 6 says that as per section number 16 subsection 5, as per the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, if you have claimed the input tax credit after that timeline till 30th November, in such a scenario, you will be eligible. You will be eligible. Just wait for a single second and sorry. So in this section number 16 subsection 5, they have clarified that, sir, any input tax credit which is related to financial year 17, 18 till financial year 2021, and if you have claimed the same till 30th November 2021, in such a scenario, your restriction of section 16 subsection 4 will not be applicable. Okay, but suppose during that financial year, taxpayer has claimed the input tax credit, okay, after the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, but till the timeline of 30th November 2021, and departmental authority has issued the notice and raised the demand during that particular period. Now, question is that while filing for the amnesty scheme, can we need to pay the amount for the input tax credit which we have claimed after the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, but before 30th November 2021? No. Government is saying that suppose your demand is 5 lakh rupees. Suppose your demand is 5 lakh rupees, and from that 2 lakh rupees demand is related to your section 16 subsection 4, but you have claimed within section 16 subsection 5. In such a scenario, you just need to deposit 3 lakh rupees through DRC 03. No need to pay that 2 lakh rupees. Okay, you need not to pay, because the point is that whenever you will go for the amnesty scheme, you have to first file DRC 03 and you have to pay the 100% of the tax amount. But 100% of tax amount does not include any demand which is waived off due to section number 16 subsection 5 and section number 16 subsection 6. Section 16 subsection 5 is providing the extended period of time to claim the input tax credit, and section number 16 subsection 6 is related to revocation of the registration, cancellation and revocation of GST registration and claim of input tax credit. These are the two important sections. Sir, this concept is okay for everyone. From total demand, you just need to less the demand on account of section 16 subsection 4. Just confirm me once in the chat box. I think Mohan sir, your question has already been covered in this. Now, suppose if the taxpayer has claimed any wrong refund, in such a scenario, whether the benefit of amnesty is available? No. If the demand on account of refund, which you have claimed wrongly, in that case, you will not get the benefit of this amnesty scheme. Okay. Now, just go through with the notes which is there. We'll try to link each and everything which is there. Amnesty scheme under GST, waiver of interest and penalty regarding tax demand under section number 73. I request after this particular session, you will get this PDF file as well. Okay. You just need to do one thing. Go through with this PDF file very carefully. Okay. You just need to do one thing. Go through with this PDF file very carefully, because in this PDF file, we have covered the complete practical aspects as well. Waiver of interest and penalty regarding the tax demand under section number 73. So this is the key point which we need to keep in our mind, section number 73. Then applicable for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19 and 19, 20. All those things which we have covered in our series wise examples, the same is mentioned in this. Okay. Cases include under section 73 or original notice under section number 74, but after that the converted into section number 73. Sir, if jurisdictional officer has recovered 100% of tax amount from the electronic credit ledger, that means they have deducted the amount from your electronic credit ledger. Okay, in that case, you have to file one application before your jurisdictional officer that, sir, I am eligible for the amnesty scheme and I am going to select that amnesty scheme and I will pay the amount through DRC 03. Okay, in that case, they will again credit your electronic credit ledger, and then after you have to select the amnesty scheme by filing the SPL 01 and by filing the DRC 01. Otherwise, the point is that they have deducted the amount 100% of tax. But if you are not doing this particular type of thing, in such a scenario, your demand related to interest and penalty will always be there. Okay, so you need to perform this task, you need to pay through DRC 03, and then after you need to go for SPL 01 and 02. Is that okay, Mr. Sunil? Next, for payment mechanism, they have introduced rule number 164. We have covered the rule number 64, 164 practically. Yes, appeal can be withdrawal. If you have filed the appeal after 90 days, okay, and you have filed after 120, that means the extended time period of 30 days. In that case, also you may withdraw your appeal and you can go for this amnesty scheme, not an issue. For providing mechanism, they have introduced the rule number 164. Payment can be made through cash ledger, credit ledger, except in case of reverse charge mechanism. Suppose the demand is on account of reverse charge mechanism, then you have to pay the amount through cash ledger only, not through the credit ledger. Cases exclude late fees, refund, and interest on delayed payment. These type of issues are not covered in this amnesty scheme. That means if there is any demand related to late fees, related to interest on delayed payment or wrong refund, in such a scenario, you will not be eligible to go for the amnesty scheme. In other scenarios, you can go for the amnesty scheme. Now, situations, there are certain situations. Notice or statement issued under section number 73(1), 73(3). If you have idea of section number 73, that is fraud free. In that section they have clearly mentioned that regarding any demand they will first issue the notice. With that notice they will issue one statement, and the grounds of notice and statement will be same. So notice is mentioned in section number 73 subsection 1, and statement is mentioned in section number 73 subsection 3. Okay, I am also trying to share with you the relevant crux of the case, the relevant section. Order has been issued under section number 73 subsection 9, but no order has been issued by the appellant authority and revisional authority. That means the order has been passed by the jurisdictional officer. Your jurisdictional officer will always be passed the order under section number 73(9). But no order has been passed by the appellant authority and revisional authority. They will pass the order under section 107, 108. Order has been issued by the appellant authority or revisional authority, but no order has been issued by appellant tribunal. That is section number 113. Now, rule number 164 of CGST rules. Procedure for availing the benefit of waiver of interest and penalties. Sir, the practical part we have already covered. Now I am just going to explain you that these are the same things which is mentioned here. So, notice or statement, Mohan sir, notice or statement, go for SPL 01. Okay, because the timeline of section 73 has already been expired or lapsed. SPL 01. File within 3 months from the date notified, that is 31st March 2025. That means, sir, there is any specific timeline is there for filing the amnesty scheme or for selecting the amnesty scheme? Yes, definitely. If you want to go for the amnesty scheme, there is a timeline which is also prescribed by the government. And the timeline is, if you want to select the amnesty scheme, in that case for filing the SPL 01 or 02, the timeline is 3 months from 31st March 2025. That is 30th June 2025 will be the last date to file the SPL 0102 for financial year 2017-18, 18-19, 19-20. But this is the last date to file the SPL 0102. To make the payment regarding your demand, the due date is 31st March 2025. So if you want to go for the amnesty scheme, in such a scenario, you have to make the payment of 100% of tax amount till 31st March 2025, and within 3 months you can file the SPL 0102. This concept also we need to keep in our mind. Otherwise, there may be issue. Okay. So payment should be made up to 31st March 2025, and with that you have to enclose certain documents. One is self-certified notices and another is your DRC 03. Appeal withdrawal proof is not required, because in this situation the statement or notice has already been issued. Okay, you have not filed any appeal, but if you have filed the appeal, in that case appeal withdrawal proof is required. That means order passed by the appellant authority, or if the order is not available, if the order is not available, in such a scenario you can go for the application of withdrawal. Yes, if you have paid the amount through the cash ledger, in that case also you can go for the amnesty scheme, cash or credit ledger. In both the scenarios you are eligible to select the amnesty scheme. Now, order from the appellant authority or jurisdictional authority. Order from the appellant authority or jurisdictional authority. In such a scenario, you have to file the SPL 02 form, and payment should be made up to 31st March 2025 by crediting electronic liability register. Why electronic liability register? Because as we all know, when the jurisdictional authority is going to pass the order, in such a scenario, the liability will always be created through your electronic liability register. There will be availability of 3 ledger on GST and common portal: electronic cash ledger, credit ledger, and liability ledger. Okay. And when the order has been passed related to any demand, in that case, your liability register will always be credited. If payment has already been made through DRC 03, then you have to file the DRC 03A should be filed. Okay, that means if you have already made the payment of your demand by DRC 03. In that case, when you will file the DRC 03, there is no option available that you have to select voluntary or under section number 73, 74, but you are not able to identify a particular demand against a particular notice or demand ID or liability ledger. So they have provided one opportunity for DRC 03A. Through this form DRC 03A, you are going to show that we have already paid the amount in DRC 03, and now we are going to adjust that amount against the demand by crediting the electronic liability register. That means whenever the order has been passed and you have already paid the amount, in such a scenario, you also have to file the DRC 03A. SPL 02 should be filed within 3 months from 31st March 2025, and with that you need to submit the self-certified notices, appeal withdrawal proof if appeal filed, and DRC 03. Now, special points. If multiple notices are there, in such a scenario, you have to select the amnesty scheme for multiple applications. That means separate application is required in different scenario. ऐसा नहीं है you can select amnesty scheme for all the notices in one shot. No, you need to file the amnesty scheme separately for each and every scenario. Application should be filed with the proper officer. Now we'll also discuss on the screenshot of GST and common portal. So whenever you will file the SPL 01 or 02, it will automatically show you your jurisdictional officer as well. SPL 01 as per section number 73 and SPL 02 as per section number 79. That means based on the orders. If you will read the section number 28A directly, then there may be multiple confusions are there and it will be quite confusing. But if you'll go through these type of notes and then after you will go with the section number 128A or rule 164, in that case you can easily go through it. Now, demand of tax partially for refund and partially for other reason, partially for specified period, partially for other period, application can only be filed after full payment of tax. Suppose they have raised the demand for financial year 1920 and certain demand is related to financial year 2021. In such a scenario, you have to deposit the full amount of tax, that is demand related to 1920 and 2021. Then only you will be eligible to go for the amnesty scheme. Suppose you want to go for amnesty scheme for 1920 and you are not ready to pay the tax amount of 2021. In that case, you will not be eligible to go for the amnesty scheme. So section number 70, the partially for a specified period or for other period and refund related. That means whenever you are selecting the amnesty scheme, you just need to keep in your mind you have to pay the 100% of tax demand in that particular notice. So whenever a client is coming to your office and providing you the notice for multiple years, in that case you just need to keep in your mind, you should suggest that sir, if you are selecting the amnesty scheme, you have to pay for 1920, 2021 as well. This type of guideline should be there from your side. Otherwise hoga kya, the departmental authority may reject the amnesty application, and in that case your client will directly say that sir, you have filed the application, you have suggested us to pay the tax, otherwise we can go for high court or supreme court. So we need to go for the consultancy in such a way. Reduced by amount not payable as per section number 16, subsection 5 and subsection 6 we have already covered. Payment should be made up to 31st March 2025. Sir, whenever you will go for the DRC 03, the credit ledger is also available in that DRC 03. You may pay the amount through DRC 03 by credit ledger, not an issue. By debiting the credit ledger, the facility is available. So suppose a particular demand has been created for financial year 1920 2021. 1920 2021. In such a scenario, for 1920 you are eligible for amnesty scheme, but for 2021 you are not eligible for amnesty scheme. In such a scenario, when you are going to select the amnesty scheme, you just need to keep one thing in your mind: you will be eligible to select the amnesty scheme if you will pay the tax of 1920 2021 as well. You will not be eligible to pay only for 1920, and you are not supposed to pay for 2021 for a single notice. If multiple years are involved, in that case you have to go for the payment for all. Mohan sir, if you have any issue with the DRC 03, DRC 03A, although we'll cover the same in this session, we have screenshots as well. But if you want to go for the GST and common portal and check the same, then you may connect with me on Ultraviewer by Monday. We'll provide you the issue that how you can use the credit ledger as well. Okay. So I'm available for everyone till 31st March 2025 related to any issue which is related to amnesty scheme. Just take the time and connect with me. Okay. Now, sir, you have to pay the 100% of tax amount. Interest and penalty, you will not pay. Then also it is okay. You can go for the amnesty for 1920 only. Okay. If interest and penalty already paid, then no refund shall be granted. Suppose you have already paid the interest and penalty, now you are not eligible for any type of refund. जिसने payment कर दिया, गलती उसकी, अब liability is yours. Okay. Amount can be paid by the taxpayer or any person on behalf of him. SPL 0102 can be filed up to 30th June 2024. Now, suppose a particular order has been passed under section number 74 and notice has been issued under section number 74, and the taxpayer has filed the appeal before the appellant authority for conversion of section number 73. In such a scenario, they said that, sir, when the order has been passed by the appellant authority related to conversion from section number 74 to section number 73, in that case, from the date of communication of order, you can apply for the amnesty within 6 months. There is an extended timeline. Okay, that means suppose the matter has been pending before the authority and related to the conversion from 74 to 73, and they have passed the order in April month, 25th of April 2025. In such a scenario, from 25th of April till next 6 months, you can go for the amnesty scheme in case of conversion. Okay. So 6 o'clock is there. Can we take a break for 5 minutes? Okay. We are going to take a break for 5 minutes, and in this 5 minutes, you should be online. Okay, be there. Whatever will be your experience related to our first half, that is 1 hour, just comment in the chat box. Okay. We'll conclude the session in next 45 minutes. So I require your comments as well in the chat box. 6:05, we'll start our discussion. Yes. Yes, you can definitely use the credit ledger for paying the DRC 03. If you will check the language of section number 128A and the language of rule number 164, in such a scenario also they have clearly mentioned that then you can use the cash and credit ledger both. Okay. Payment can be through the cash and credit ledger both. So you can use both the things for your reference. Thank you, Amit Bhai. So, withdrawal of appeal. Application has been filed for the withdrawal of appeal. If the appeal has been filed before the appellant authority and you want to go for the amnesty scheme, in that case, first you need to file the withdrawal application for the appeal. But no order has been passed. The applicant may file appeal by uploading the copy of application or documents filed for withdrawal. That means if no withdrawal order has been passed, in that case also, you can file the appeal by uploading the copy of application. Also, copy of withdrawal order should be filed within 1 month from the date of communication of order. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उसको submit ही नहीं करो. You have to submit within 1 month from the date of communication of order. Now, check the procedure. Sir, I require your 100% attention on the screen. Procedure. Application in form SPL 0102. No notice. That means if you have filed the application before the authority for in form SPL 01 and 02 and authority is not going to issue any notice, in that case order in form SPL 05 will be issued within 3 months from the date of receipt. मतलब सब कुछ एकदम ठीक ठाक रहता है, everything is fine. In that case they are going to pass directly the order in form SPL 05 within 3 months from the date of filing of the date of receipt of the application. Notice in form SPL 03. Suppose they have found some issues in your application in form SPL 01 or 02. That means suppose you have paid the less tax or there is certain issues related to that. In such a scenario, they will first provide you the opportunity of being heard. And for that purpose, they will issue the notice in form SPL 03. 0102 may you should apply. Okay. If departmental authority has any question or any issue, in that case they will issue the notice in form SPL 03 and provide you the opportunity of being heard, and the taxpayer has to file the reply within 1 year, 1 month from the date of receipt of the notice in form SPL 04. And if the departmental authority is satisfied with your reply, in that case they will issue SPL 05, that is order, within 3 months from the date of reply. And if they're not satisfied, in that case they will issue SPL 07, rejection of the application. Now your application has been rejected by the authority. If no proceeding within the timeline, in such a scenario it will be treated that deemed approved. Suppose departmental authority is not going to issue any notice within 3 months from the date of receipt, in such a scenario it will be treated as deemed approved by the authority. So we also need to keep these timelines in our mind, because there may be chances you have filed the application and they are not going to issue any notice, but they are not going to approve your application as well. So in future, for handling the litigations, for your argument, you should keep in your mind that this provision is also there in section number 128A. Because whenever we are going for any litigation in such a scenario, we need to read each and every section very carefully. Okay. Now, action after issuing rejection order in SPL 07. Sir, उन्होंने rejection order दे दिया. What we need to do? If no appeal has been filed against this rejection, in that case your original appeal will be restored. Okay, that means suppose you have filed one appeal before the authority and you have filed one withdrawal of application for filing the amnesty scheme, but they have not going to accept your amnesty scheme. In that case, your original appeal will be restored. But if you have filed appeal against the rejection order SPL 07 and if the favorable decision has been passed by the appellant authority, in such a scenario the SPL 06 will be issued. But if unfavorable decision, in such a scenario SPL 08 order in form GST APL 04 will be there and original appeal should be restored. Sir, can we create one chart and try to understand? Maybe chances there is certain confusion in mind. Okay, so I'm just going to create one chart, and through that chart we'll try to understand the complete mechanism of this amnesty scheme. Sir, just try to understand. I need to file one appeal application for SPL 0102 for the amnesty scheme. Okay, so this is my application form. This is my application form. Now, there may be two possibilities are there. There may be two possibilities are there. First possibility, they are going to accept they are going to accept your appeal and pass the order. In such a scenario, they will pass the order in SPL 05, and timeline is 3 months from the date of receipt. That is what is the timeline which is there. Suppose they are not going to accept, they have issued one notice. Notice will be issued in SPL 03. Okay, and taxpayer has to submit reply in SPL 04 within 1 month. 1 month timeline is here. Okay. So taxpayer has filed the reply in SPL 04. Now there may be two possibilities. One, they are satisfied with the application or with the reply which has been submitted by the taxpayer. So they will pass the order in SPL 05. They have timeline of 3 months again. There may be chances they are not satisfied. They are not satisfied. In such a scenario, they will issue the order of rejection of amnesty scheme application, order of rejection, and the order will be issued in SPL 07. The order will be issued in SPL 07. Now, in that 07, after getting that SPL 07, there may be two options. One, the taxpayer is not going to file any appeal, no appeal. The taxpayer is not going to file any appeal. In such a scenario, the original appeal will be restored. That means जो appeal उसने file की थी, that appeal will be restored. Second scenario, filed appeal regarding the SPL 07, that is rejection. In such a scenario, there may be two chances. The decision will be favorable. If the decision will be favorable, in that case, the order will be issued. Sorry, in that case, the order will be issued in SPL 06. But if the order is unfavorable, in such a scenario, the order will be issued in SPL 08. So, form number SPL 1 to form number SPL 08 is related to your amnesty scheme. 1 or 2 mein we are going to file an application. 3 mein, if there will be any notice, they are going to issue the notice in 3. We need to reply in SPL 04. Departmental authority will pass the order in 05. But if they are not satisfied, in that case, they may reject the application, and rejection will be through SPL 07. Then after one situation, we are going to file an appeal. Appeal में favorable decision SPL 06, unfavorable decision SPL 08. But if the taxpayer is not going to file the appeal against the rejection order SPL 07, in that case, your original appeal will be restored. This is the complete mechanism of this amnesty scheme. Sir, can I have the comment of each and everyone that, sir, this concept is okay for everyone? Sir, I request everyone, please once comment in the chat box the complete mechanism from SPL 01 till SPL 08 is okay for everyone, because this is the concept which we should keep in our mind. Now, special. If the appellant authority or appellant tribunal, revisional authority has raised the amount of demand, pay the tax amount of enhanced demand. That means, suppose if the appeal has been filed and the appellant authority has raised the demand. Earlier, the notice was for 5 lakh rupees. Appellant authority has raised the demand for 7 lakh rupees. So, whenever you will go for the amnesty scheme, you have to pay that 7 lakh rupees which has been enhanced by the appellant authority. There may be possibility of that. Sir, if there will be any refund and demand for other period, they then pay within 3 months from the date of order. Otherwise, the benefit of section number 128A becomes void. That means if any other demand related to other period, that is वही आपका interest or penalty, sir, you have to pay 100% of tax for 2021. If you are not paying the interest and penalty, in that case also you have to pay that interest and penalty within 3 months from the date of order. Otherwise, your benefit of section number 128A becomes void. So keep in your mind that all the things we need to pay simultaneously if the order has been or notice has been issued for a single amount. Sir, the complete mechanism is okay for that. If notice and statement SPL 01, if order by the appellant authority, appellant tribunal SPL 02 is there. Okay. With the SPL 0102, you have to submit certain documentation. Complete filing is online. If appeal is there, in that case, first you need to file an application for withdrawal of the appeal. Then only you can go for the amnesty scheme. In that case, you have to wait because this option is available in your hand that if the matter is pending before jurisdictional officer under section number 74, in such a scenario you have to wait. But the point is that you should do one thing: file an application before your jurisdictional application for early hearing or early order, because you want to take the benefit of amnesty scheme and you want to file a appeal before the appellant authority. Okay, so you have to file one application before the appellant authority, before the jurisdictional officer as well. May I know the period for which the matter is pending? Sita ji, may I know the period for 1819? Yes, you can file application before the authority. So why the matter is still pending? Because the timeline has already been lapsed. Sita ji, directly write one letter to the jurisdictional officer and taking the reference of section number 74. As per section number 74, the last date to issue the to conclude the proceedings under section number 74 is, as we all know, for 1819 the due date to file the GSTR 9 return, that is annual return, is 31st December 2019. From this date 5 years, that is 31st December 2024 has already been lapsed. So directly issue one notice to your letter to your jurisdictional officer that, sir, the timeline for section number 74 has already been lapsed and you have already initiated the proceedings and you are not going to drop or you are not going to pass the order. Pass it as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will be time barred. If the jurisdictional officer is not going to recredit the amount in your electronic credit ledger, in that case, you have to file one appeal, boss. Then Sunilji, you should file one application for early hearing. You can file one application before the authority for early hearing and keep the same on your record, because due to this amnesty scheme, there may be a lot of litigation in the future. Okay, because the departmental authorities are not ready for to accept the things. Appellant authorities are also not ready to accept the things. So we should ready with the documentation part. Yes, sir. If you are not going to file an appeal against the rejection order regarding the amnesty, in that case, your original appeal will automatically restored. but you just need to check the timeline of 3 months. That should not be lapsed. Okay, that timeline you should keep in your mind. Timeline should not be lapsed. Now we'll directly move to the practical portion, how you can file an appeal, that means the amnesty scheme on GSTN common portal. Sir, are you enjoying the session? Now, on GSTN Common Portal, when you will log into the GSTN Common Portal, under Services tab, you just need to click on My Applications. You just need to click on My Applications. Okay. Under My Applications, you just need to select application for waiver of scheme under section 128A, that is amnesty scheme, and you need to click on new application. Okay, just try to understand the things. Also, you will get the recordings, so you can go through at the time of recordings as well. You need to click on the new applications. By clicking on the new application, this type of screen will be there, SPL01, SPL02. So if the amnesty scheme you are going to select on the basis of notice or statement, SPL01 is here. If you want to file an appeal regarding the order, in that case SPL02 is here, and by after clicking you just need to create application. Okay, now in first part, SPL01, when you will click and proceed, in that case there are certain questions whether the notice or statement is issued through the GSTN common portal. You need to select yes or no. Suppose you have received the physical notice, in that case you have to select no, so that the notice reference number should be provided. Whether any order has been against the notice or statement issued by the appellant authority, in that case you have to select yes or no. Whether the tax amount demanded in notice is completely paid through DRC 03, because if we are going for the amnesty scheme, then we just need to ensure that first payment through DRC 03, then only we will be eligible for the amnesty scheme. Whether the notice is issued under section number 73 or 74, so we need to select 73. If we will select 74, it will not going to provide you the opportunity to file an amnesty scheme. If yes, agar aapne yes select kar liya, in that case you have to check whether it is covered under section number 75. That means through that section number 75, the authority has power to convert that notice or the order which has been issued under section number 74 to section number 73. That type of thing you just need to ensure, and whether the notice or assessment is issued for the refund wrongly taken. Only in such a scenario, if you are going to select yes, in such a scenario you will not be eligible to file the amnesty scheme. These are the questions which is there on GSTN common portal, that notice has been issued, any cross order has been issued, amount paid or not, under which section, and if section number 74, then the order is here for converting the same into 73, and refund. These are the 6 questions which will be there. Then you just need to click on next step. When you will click on next step, in that case this type of screen will be available. Mobile number and mail ID which is available on your common portal will be there. You just need to select your jurisdiction, automatically shown here based on your address. Your address will also be here. Notice or statement number, you just need to select for which notice. All the notices will be there, and date of notice. Whenever you will select the notice or statement number, the date of notice and statement will automatically auto populated. Then after, you need to select under which section the notice has been issued, writ petition has been filed or not, or if filed, in that case withdrawal has already been done, refund se related hai, you need to select yes or no, and the financial year which will be automatically auto populated based on your notice reference number when you will select. If you have paid the amount through DRC 03, you have to select the acknowledgement reference number, ARN number. Only after that it will provide the opportunity to file the amnesty scheme. So just try to understand the role of DRC 03. Then after, you have to submit certain documentation, self-certified copy of notice, payment in DRC 03, and petition withdrawal if any. And then after, you need to file the form by DEVC. That is what is the mechanism which is available for SPL01. Can we move for SPL02? In case of SPL02, that will again ask whether the demand or order has been issued under GSTN common portal. Appeal has been filed against the order, you need to select yes or no accordingly. If the appeal has been filed, in that case you need to select that the withdrawal has been filed or not. Whether the appeal or writ petition against the order has been withdrawn before the appellant authority, appellant tribunal, Supreme Court, High Court. You need to select under which section the notice has been issued, 73, 74, order has been issued, 73, 74. If the matter is related to conversion, in that case you have to select 75. And you also need to show that refund का कोई matter है या फिर नहीं है, because government is not interested for refund. You will not get any benefit for the refund. Then automatically your mobile number, your mail ID, jurisdiction, and the address, and the demand order number, and the order ID, everything will be there. The same thing which we have covered. You need to select DRC03 as well. And then after your self-certified copy of order, you need to submit, and all other documents, that is your withdrawal. In that case, you have to submit the withdrawal DRC03, you have to submit. And then after e-verification, you can file the amnesty scheme. If you want to go for DRC03A, in that case, my application, here you will found the option for DRC03A. You need to select and click on new application, and then after DRC03 reference number you have to put, so that the amount will automatically auto populated here. The amount which you have paid through DRC03, whenever you will put the DRC03 reference number, the amount will be there. Then after you need to select demand order number, so that your DRC03 will be adjusted against your demand order number. And then after you need to click on adjustment of demand, and then after you need to file the undertaking, and through EVC you can file the DRC03A as well. So in this particular screenshot related file, in this particular screenshot related file, we can easily go through with the specific mechanism for filing the SPL01, for filing the SPL02, for providing the documentation, or for filing the SPL03A. So this is a complete bunch of screenshot which you need to follow on GSTN common portal. Amit ji, if you are going to pay, the amount or selecting the amnesty scheme on the basis of notice or statement, in that case DRC03A is not required. Okay, in that case your DRC03 is sufficient. But if you are paying through order, in that case you have to adjust your liability register, because as we all know, whenever there will be a notice or whenever there will be order, the demand will be created, and the demand which has been created, the same will be reflected in your liability register. So for crediting that liability register, you have to make certain adjustment, and for that adjustment they have provided the facility of DRC03A. Is that okay, Mr. Amit? If the authority has, Sunilji, if the authority has passed the order regarding the interest and penalty only, in that case, why need to pay the interest and penalty? You just need to directly go for the amnesty scheme. No need to pay, because the tax demand is not here. So you can directly go for the amnesty scheme. No need to pay that amount, because not at all required. Because they have clearly mentioned only tax amount. Sir, the point is that here is one crux. Okay, from timeline perspective, here is one crux. Just try to understand the scenario for financial year 18-19, 19-20, and 20-21. Just try to understand with logics. Okay, just try to understand with logic, so that you can also easily suggest your client the relevant things. Okay, for 17-18 plus for 18-19 plus for 1920, they are providing an opportunity for amnesty scheme. Am I right? For 1920, under section number 73, the last date to pass the order, you can say, the last date to pass the order will be 31st December 2020 plus 3 years. Okay, plus 3 years. That means 31st December 2023. If the authority has passed the order as on 31st December 2023, this is the last date to pass the order under section number 73. And this is 2025. Within 3 months, you have to file the appeal, otherwise the recovery proceeding will be initiated. So in that case, the lawmakers is in view that the taxpayer has already filed the appeal before the authority. So that appeal will be restored. Or if the matter is related to section number 74, in that case also, you have to file the appeal before the appellant authority within 3 months for conversion into 73. So in all the scenarios, your appeal has already been filed. Hence, at the time of question from Mr. Mohan, I have given the creation of the timeline so that you can easily understand why government has provided this timeline. So in your scenario also, the calculation, if you are going to file the appeal at that time, then first thing, that appeal is time barred. The second thing, if you have already filed the appeal, in that case, your appeal will be restored. That is what is the thing we need to keep in our mind. Arun sir, you have made the payment against demand not through DRC 03. Then how you have made the payment? Because the payment mechanism is only through DRC 03. Sir, in that case, under the DRC 03, you have to select NA. If you will select, it will provide you the permission. Okay. Okay, you have paid the amount through the outstanding demand ID from the notice which has been issued by the authority. In that case, the reference number has already been generated. Just check, the reference number has already been generated, Arun Kumar. So you can take the reference of that reference number. Raviji, is that possible to share with me the original order? Okay, you can hide the name of your client and you can directly send the order with me so that I can check and I can guide you in a better way. That is what is the option I have. I can guide you in that way. Because for that purpose, I have to check certain things. So you can WhatsApp me the things and then after we may connect our call for the discussion. Okay. So any question in that case, you may feel free to ask the questions. Although I'm here. Santoshji, in that case, also you have to file an application before the jurisdictional officer regarding that. That will be the best way, because otherwise in future after 31st March 2025, if they will raise the demand, then you will not be in a situation to argue in that way. Okay, that is what is the thing we need to keep in our mind. So sir, today's in this particular session we have covered the complete amnesty scheme. the crux of section number 128A and the rule number 164, how we can file the appeal practically, what are the things we need to keep in our mind, what are the documentation we need to submit with the departmental authority or with filing the application on the GST in common portal. I know now the professionals has started the filing the application for amnesty scheme. So in future, that means in next 1 to 2 months, multiple issues will be there, and multiple issues will be filed on GST and common portal and grievance readdressal portal as well. So keep updated, because multiple lacunas are also there. That should be keep in our mind while filing the amnesty scheme or application for the amnesty scheme. Okay, so if you have any question, any query, any doubt related to amnesty scheme while filing the application before the authority on GST and common portal, then I am here to support you in any way. Okay, so you can connect with me or call, but just take the time on WhatsApp and then after connect with me, so that it will be very easy for us to give you time, right time, and will connect for you. Okay, at the end, I just request everyone, sir, whatever will be your feedback about our today's session, just put it in the chat box. And while filing the application on GST and common portal, if you face any issue, any technical issue, connect with me. Okay, so I am requesting everyone for your feedbacks for our today's session on the amnesty scheme. एंड आई होप जिन जिन लोगों ने इस बुक का ऑर्डर दिया था, सिंप्लीफाई जीएसटी द चार्ट गाइड, इन दैट केस दे हैव रिसीव्ड द बुक एज वेल. ओके, I hope all have received the book. In this particular book, we have covered the complete GST law in chart form with memory techniques. Okay, that means the original appeal will be restored. That means the original appeal will be restored. Now the proceedings of the original appeal has been continued. जिसका आपने withdrawal किया था, the appeal which the taxpayer has withdrawn, the same will be continued. Sir, if your client has filed the appeal after the timeline, definitely the appellate authority is not going to accept your appeal. If you have filed the GST and common portal, then also your portal is not going to accept the appeal. For that purpose, first you need to file the writ before the Honorable High Court, and then after you can go for the appeal. That is what is the option which is available. Everyone, please put the feedback in the chat box. And anyone wants to buy the book Simplify GST, if not bought yet, in that case, I am sharing the number in the chat box. You can text on that number. They will share with you the link to buy this book. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for listening with us. We'll meet very soon in any other session, in any other webinar. Yes, for the GST comprehensive course, those who are going to continue this particular batch, tomorrow morning sharp 11 o'clock, we have session. Yes, thank you everyone for your thank you Arunji for your comment in the chat box. Definitely you should suggest, and this book is in a very simplified language, and in future, as I have already announced, in future we are coming with cards for you. Okay, so now no visiting card, these cards are covering the complete rules, CGST rules. All the rules will be covered in the cards. You can carry easily in a small box. Okay, so we are trying to innovate certain new things for the education, for the learning perspective, and we are getting the support from our participant side. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for listening. We'll meet in very soon in a next session. Thank you. Bye bye.